Hi there everybody, and welcome back to the live stream GuitarQuest lessons. So this is obviously our first one after a short summer break for a few weeks. So we're going to recap a few of the exercises that we've tried from GuitarQuest 3 today, and we'll see how we go. We might go on to something new, but we've actually covered quite a lot of ideas in GuitarQuest 3, so I think it's going to be a good opportunity just to recap a few bits and pieces, make sure those techniques and new notes and all that kind of thing are sort of settling into place, and then we'll see where we go from there. So, usual kind of things really. So if you're watching this on whatever device you happen to be on, then please turn any notifications off so we get our half an hour guitar time. If there's any children watching, then I suggest you have an adult in the room. That just you can help explain things if there's any ideas that they find difficult to pick up. Otherwise, I think that's about it really. So we will start off by checking our tuning as usual. So we're going to start with the 6th string. So my guitar's in tunes. Just try and make sure yours sounds pretty much the same as this. Okay, so here's our bottom E string. Then our A string, and then D, okay, and then G, and then B, finally our top E string. Okay, so when you've tuned up, always worth strumming a few chords. So you can try an E minor, it's one of the first chords we learned. So and when you do, just try and listen out. Does it sound right? Does anything sound a bit off? You know, and if so, you just play about with it until you've adjusted it. With you know, if you tune up with an electronic tuner, that's probably not going to happen. But if you're doing it by ear, then it's definitely worth doing that. So I'd always do 3 or 4 chords, maybe just the usual ones. So E minor, G, D, A minor, A maybe. Or you know, if you know other chords that are a bit more, should we say, complex, you could try those as well. You know, if you're sort of up here and just thinking, okay, does that sound right? You know. So it's all about like listening to what's going on really. So yeah, so that's our tuning. So just have a quick recap of posture as well. So remember, there's different ways we can sit and hold the guitar. So at the moment I have my right foot raised and the guitar is resting on my right leg. This is a pretty common way of playing. You want to try and make sure the neck is at the very least horizontal, maybe a slight upward sort of angle on it. Try not to let it point down, and try not to allow the guitar to sort of slide away from you. If I just twist around a bit, so try not to let it do that. Try not to slouch in the chair and things as well, because all those things are going to make it harder to get you have to work hard to get your left hand round to play the notes. So kind of you know, relatively straight back, I suppose. Guitar sort of nice and flush with the body. Slightly upwards angle on the neck, and you should be good. Just quickly, because we haven't talked about this in ages, if you're going for the classical posture, you'd have your left foot raised, and then the guitar rests over the left leg, and the sort of bottom quadrant of the guitar rests against the right leg. You'll get this nice upward trajectory on the guitar straight away, so that's cool. So you know, this is a really good posture to play in. Really, it's obviously the classical posture. So if you're not playing classical, people generally don't bother, but it is probably one of the better postures from a postural perspective. So yeah, I myself, I don't tend to go with that one too often, so I'll go back to right leg raised and guitar over the right leg, and that's a pretty comfortable one for me. So do play about with it, especially for any adults who are watching. If you find, you know, if you're sitting and practicing for a while and you're like, oh, like, you know, something feel a bit of tension in your shoulder or in your back or anything like that, try a couple of different postures and just see if that helps. So Okay, so that's enough of that. So what we're going to do is have a look at exercise 24 from GuitarQuest 3, which I should have had open, but I haven't. So yeah, we are going to go back to the strumming pattern that we talked about. So like, this is the most common strumming pattern you'll probably ever play. So it's one just worth really trying to get to grips with and just try and make it very second nature. So this is particularly important if you have any ambitions to sing as well. If you do, when you sing, something needs to become kind of almost subconscious, and really that's got to be the strumming. So with this one, just to recap, we're going to do it with an E minor chord, and we're going to go down, down, up, down. So that in terms of the beats is 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and nothing on 3 and 4. So on beat 3, I think I've said in previous videos, you could use the word ghost, for example, just to kind of remind you to move past the strings. It's very easy to forget on beat 3 to do the down but not hit the strings. So that's something to watch out for. So yeah, let's give it a go. I should say, in terms of strumming, when you're playing fingerstyle, I don't think it really matters quite what you go for. You could go with the thumb, go the index finger, go the combination. It's a bit harder. So if you're doing the combination, you go down with the thumb and up with probably the index finger. If you're very careful, you can use a few fingers at the same time. However, you can end up with a kind of messy sound if you're not careful. So I would steer clear of that typically if you can. But let's give it a go. So we're going to start on our E minor. We're going to start slow, and like in previous weeks, we're just going to build the speed up a little bit. So E minor, 5th string second and 4th string second. We're going to strum all the strings, and we're going to start after 4. Okay, so 3, 4, down, down, up, up, down. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and ghost, up, down. So down, down, up, ghost, up, down. Here we go a little bit quicker. Down, down, up, up, down. Go a bit quicker again. Down, down, up, down. And again, go a little bit quicker. Go a little bit quicker again. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. A bit quicker again. A little bit quicker again. Okay, cool, and that's basically that. So, like I said, getting that in a very kind of subconscious kind of thing means that you can focus on other things. If, for example, you're singing, or even if you're playing and you need to chat, for example, which can happen every now and again. Yeah, so that's worth doing. One of the things I mentioned actually at the last lesson was about kind of putting your own chords together to create a tune, and you just use that strumming pattern. You just do that pattern once or twice on each chord. So if anybody tried it, please do let me know, or feel free to record yourself. It'd be interesting to hear. But from a practice point of view, if you feel like that, you've got that strumming pattern down, nice and sort of straightforward, then try changing chords. So you could do E minor, G, sorry, D, and then A. Just do that again. So E minor, G, D, A, or any other combination you could think of. I was playing Alive by Pearl Jam earlier today. It's in one of the, I think it's the electric guitar grade 4 syllabus, and that's E, G, D, A. It's very similar to what I was just playing there. So that's probably why those chords sprung to mind, because I've just been playing it a couple of hours ago. So But yeah, feel free to play about with them, come up with different combinations, different whole chords for different lengths of time, and you might even find that you like you like how it sounds, and it might even be the makings of some sort of song or composition or whatever. So always good to play about with it. So okay, as mentioned right at the very start, we're going to go back over and just go over a few exercises that cover the various different things that we've talked about in GuitarQuest 3. So the first one, we're going to go right back to exercise 1. So when we first started GuitarQuest 3, we talked about playing 2 notes together. So in GuitarQuest 1 and 2, like GuitarQuest 1 was just the notes on the top 3 strings. And then when we went through GuitarQuest 2, we did the low strings. And GuitarQuest 3, we're now talking about playing a couple of notes at the same time. And we know we play them at the same time because the notes are written directly one on top of the other. So let's have a go at exercise 1. I think it's all just open strings. There's a bass note B in bar 7, so on the second line there. So that'll be the 5th string, 2nd fret. So watch out for that one. But yeah, otherwise let's give it a go and see how we get on. So after 4, exercise 1. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, and bass note A. Switch to the B on the 2nd string. Bass note B. So I missed that one I was talking about it earlier. E's again. And A and E. 2 B's, and finally the 2 E's to finish. We're not going to bother with a repeat, I should mention that. So so if you find that difficult, just take a bit of time and just watch out when you play the 2 notes together. Try not to let the hand ping away. That's quite common. I've seen that quite a lot. So try and keep the fingers nice and steady and close to the strings. You could, if you're feeling confident, you could do the rest stroke with the fingers and do the free stroke with the thumb. That's probably the most common way of playing it. So that can be worth exploring. But usually I would say just try and make sure you're getting the notes right and getting the timing right and getting the feel down, and that's usually going to be your most important thing. So okay, that's playing 2 notes together. So we're now going to jump forward to exercise 7, which is on page 6. And with this one, we've got 2 ideas that we talked about. One is the dotted crotchet, so that lasts for 1.5 beats. And the other one is the B flat. So the B flat that crops up in this particular tune is going to be the 3rd string, 3rd fret. So just want to make sure, obviously, when you see the B, we're not playing an open 2nd, we're going for the 3rd string, 3rd fret. Okay, and just a reminder about dotted crotchet, so it's 1.5 beats. So when we break our bar down into beats, we've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, but in between that we've also got the and, so we've got that space. So the way we count it is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And so a dotted crotchet is worth the 1 and 2, and then, so that's our 1.5 beats. And then we'd have a quaver after that usually, which just sort of balances out that first half of the bar. So if I just play the first bar, so we're going to start on the A, so it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So that's our kind of timing. Although you can count it, and it's a good thing to do, I think, to know where you are in the bar and that kind of thing. Hopefully after a while, and when you've played it a bit and you get used to these rhythms, you won't have to count it and think about it too much. It'll just become sort of fairly instinctive. But you may not be there with that yet, so it depends how much you practiced, I guess. So, but let's give it a go. We're not going to do the repeats, so we're just going to do, looking at the music, each line should be played twice. We're going to just play it once. So just in question asking which one it is. It is exercise 7, stargazing. So it's on page 6. So I'll just give a second to hopefully turn to that one. So yeah, exercise 7, page 6, stargazing. Yeah, so as I was saying, each line in theory should be played twice, but we're only going to play each line once, just so we can get on to some of the other exercises. So, hopefully we're all good. We're going to start on the note A, remember the B flat, 3rd string, 3rd fret, and let's try it. So after 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, to the second line, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1. Moving on to the last line, 3, 4, 1. Oh, hit the wrong note there, sorry. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. Apologies if my wrong note put anybody off. Hopefully it didn't too much. Hopefully you can all follow along. So yeah, that's dotted crotchet and a B flat. So the next one we're going to have a go at is exercise, what have I got here? Sorry, exercise 13. That is on page 9. And this one, in this kind of section of the book, we were talking about hammer-ons and pull-offs. So remember, a hammer-on, if we try it on the 4th string just for now, because it's probably come across a bit better. So you play the open 4th, hammer onto the 2nd fret in this case. Well, that's what I'm going to do. And so you play the note, don't play again, but just push your finger down, and you should hear the sound of that note there. So so that's a hammer-on, and when you get better at them, because they can be a bit tricky to begin with. I mean, you might find them easy straight away, but if you do find them difficult, what you'll find is as you progress with them and you can play them a little bit quicker, they actually become a bit easier. So when you play them slowly, because there's not a lot, the energy in the string can die a little bit, and therefore it's difficult to get the sound out. Whereas if you play them quicker, there's more energy in the string, and so the notes sound a little bit more clearly, I suppose. If you're playing steel strung guitars, like an electric guitar or just a steel strung acoustic, you may find the hammer-ons are a bit easier as well. It's the nylon strings, like what I've got on this guitar, which make it a little bit more difficult, I would say. So that's a hammer-on. A pull-off is just the other way around. So for example, on the same 2 notes, you play the E, 4th string 2nd, and then in theory, you can just lift off and you'll hear the open 4th string. You don't re-pluck the string. But if you can, try and flick down with that finger ever so slightly, and it's almost like you're plucking the string with that finger. And yeah, again, when you get used to it and you can play them a little bit quicker, they're actually easier. It's kind of like demonstrating it on a sort of slow thing. It's almost more difficult than just playing it at a normal kind of speed. So, but anyway, that's your hammer-ons and pull-offs. So we are going to try number 13 on page 9. Because we've got a 1st and 2nd time bars on this one, we're going to have to do the repeats on this. So let's give it a go. Remember, all our Fs are played sharp, so typically that's going to be the 1st string 2nd fret. Oh, sorry, F natural is 1st. I'm confusing myself. F natural, 1st string 1st fret, F sharp, F string 1st string, E string 2nd fret. Sorry, must have been a long day or something. Okay, so let's try it then. So after 4, starting on the G with our hammer-ons, here we go. Okay, so 3, 4. Rest. 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 Line 3. Line 4. pinky to the 5th fret, back to G, and then back to beginning. Rest. 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 To the 5th line for our second time bar. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Penultimate line. Rest. Rest. Last line. Rest, and we finish on the G. Okay. So again, like hammer-ons and pull-offs or slurs as the sort of the collective, perhaps more classical kind of description of them. If you find them difficult, just practice some of these exercises and hopefully it should improve. Another good one is just kind of picking a note and just changing between them. And if you do that kind of thing, you know, I'm not really plucking the string or anything like that. And in theory, you can just kind of keep that going indefinitely, or try different fingers. And you know, and that can increase the speed and things as well. So there's all little things you can do just to work on those kind of techniques. So if that needs any further explanation, please do ask. But otherwise, we're going to move on. We're going to turn the page and have a go at number 14. So when we came onto this tune here, we were talking about playing in the second position. So everything we've played in the two books so far really has just been in the first position, where we line up at frets like 1, 2, 3 and 4. And when we come to the second position, what we do is we move up a fret. And so our first finger is now at the 2nd fret, middle finger at the 3rd fret, 3rd finger at the 4th, and your pinky finger should line up at the 5th. And so playing in the second position lends itself well to playing in the key of D, or D major, which has got an F sharp and a C sharp, because we don't need any notes at the 1st fret when we play in this key. Therefore, it makes sense to play in the second position. So let's have a go at number 14. It's on page 10, Canadian Vista is the song title. There's a repeat near the end. We're not going to do that, we'll just play through it once. Watch out for the quavers. I think there's a little bit in there as well. Yeah, so in bar 6, you've got A, B, A, E. So you've got the A to the E, both of the notes are at the 2nd fret. I would, for now, just move your first finger across. You could move other fingers around to compensate for that, but I think we probably talked about that in the lesson when we covered it. So we're not going to go into too much detail now. Again, if you've got any questions on that, do feel free to ask though. But yeah, let's give it a go. So from the beginning, number 14, after 4, second position, starting on that F sharp, our first finger. Here we go. Okay, so 3, 4. 2, and then second line. Finally the last line. On the A. Okay, cool. So that's that one. We did go over that in more detail, obviously, in previous lessons. So just a quick reminder that all those older lessons are on my YouTube channel, so please do go and check them out. I think in the description I've got what exercises are covered, so just scan through a few of them until you find the one where we start talking about exercise 14, and it would have been covered over 2 or 3 weeks. That's sort of typically how these lessons work, really. So yeah, so that's that one. Okay, we are now going to skip forward again, and we're going to go on to exercise 19, which is on page 14. And in this section of the book, we started kind of covering this idea that you can find the same note in more than one place. And our initial sort of foray into this kind of thing is to find the open strings, or we can't find the bottom E string anywhere else. That's our lowest note. We can't get that anywhere else. All the other ones we can though. So your top E, we can get second string, fifth fret. Your open B string, we can get third string, fourth. The open G, we can get fourth string, fifth. Open D is fifth string, fifth. And open A, we can also find on the sixth string at the fifth fret. So basically all of these open strings, forgetting about the bottom E, can be found at the fifth fret on the string kind of above, like ceiling side if you like. So all at the fifth fret apart from the B, where we've got to go to the fourth fret. And that's just the way the intervals between the strings are set up on the guitar. So that may help to make sense of it. So let's have a go at number 19, which is called Journey. We're primarily, in fact the whole way through, we're in the second position. I would say, I think this is one of the more challenging pieces to get this right. So don't worry if you haven't practiced it for a while, if it doesn't go quite according to plan, that's not the end of the world. Again, just go back over, check out the old lessons, and you know, we went into this one in quite a bit of detail, I think. So, okay, so let's have a go. You can use your thumb to play all the lower notes, so lines 1 and 2, and actually on lines 3 and 4 you might then want to switch to your fingers. You could use your fingers the whole way through. It's not really that important on this one. So I'm going to go with the thumb on the first couple of lines there. So, okay, here we go. So starting on D, which is going to be the fifth string, fifth fret, and I'll try and shout out some of the newer note positions as we go through. Okay, so after 4, take it nice and slow. Okay, so 3, 4. So we've got D, E, F sharp, fourth string, fifth fret for the G, 2, 3, back to the D on the fifth string, fifth string, fifth fret for the D again, 2, 3, 4, stay there on the D, fourth string, fifth for the G, and then open B, back to the fifth string, fifth for the D, fifth string, fifth again, and then open G. Switch to the A there, E at the fifth fret, 2, F sharp, second string, fifth, third string, fourth for the B, stay on the A, 2, fourth fret for the B, E at the fifth fret, 2, we've got to go back to beginning, so 3, 4, back to the fifth string, fifth fret, 2, 3, 4, back to the D, fifth string, fifth, and D again, fifth string, fifth, 3, 4, second line, staying on that note, G, fourth string, fifth, 2, open B, back to D, fifth string, fifth, and then the coda, finally D, fifth string, fifth. Okay, so I talked us through as many notes as I could get out. Hopefully that wasn't off-putting, hopefully it helped in fact. So yeah, so that's that one. And really, we'll do one more. So let's go for something. Well, so there's a couple more I was hoping to get through, but we're sort of a bit short on time. So number 21, just very briefly, just to remind you, it's our power chords. So you've got E5, fifth string second and your bottom E. A5, you move them over one string, open fifth and fourth string second. And then your D5, open fourth and third string second. And exercise 21 just played around with those chords, so they're worth going back over, particularly if you like your rock music. You're going to come across power chords and fifth chords, which is the same thing. You'll come across those a lot, so it's worth being really comfortable with those. But yeah, to finish off with, I was thinking let's have a go at number 22. So this has got a bit, an E flat in it, sorry, so that's going to be our second string, 4th fret. So again, we talked about this in previous lessons, so do feel free to go back over that one. Other than that, we've got a little jump up to the 3rd position just to make it a little bit easier to get up to the A. And we know the positions change because the Roman numerals above the notation change. So we start in our normal playing position to begin with, and then in bar 5 we have the Roman numerals 3, so we jump up to the 3rd fret, and then bar 7 we come back to the 1st position because we've got our Roman numeral 1, and same kind of idea on the last line. So just to finish off with then, let's have a go. We'll play through it, ignore the repeat, give it your best shot, and see how we go. Here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. E flat. So E flat again here. Watch out for that open E. And F. And jump up to the 3rd position. First, 2, then 3rd line, 2. B flat, forgot to mention that. 2, D, E flat, open E, last line, up to the 3rd position. Back to the 1st position. We're just going to finish off on that final F. Okay, cool. So that is going to be a good place for us to finish up today. We obviously, in GuitarQuest 3, like going back over it like that makes me realise we've actually covered quite a lot of ground. So yeah, please, if you find any of those exercises challenging, obviously assuming you want to get good at playing guitar, which I'm working on that assumption, otherwise you probably wouldn't be watching this. But yeah, just go back to my YouTube channel, find the lessons which cover these exercises, and just go over them. Play them a few times. There's also all the backing tracks are on there, so again, just find those and you can play along. In each backing track, I'm playing the main part, so you can play along with me playing it, and then that's the first half of each video, and then the second half is me not playing the exercise, but you've got all the chords and whatever in the background, so it's over to you to just try and play it and see if you can hold the tune steadily and get through to the end, hopefully playing it as it should be. So but yeah, so that's pretty much it. We'll leave it there for today. The main exercises, just so we know what we're going to do next week, so we're going to kind of crack on really with where we left off from last time. So we're going to have a go at exercise 25, the Grand Gardener, and then also 26, Fading Star. So those two we covered previously, so if you want to get a bit of a head start on those, if you go back to the last couple of weeks worth of lessons, then they're in there. So we'll have a play through them, and then hopefully after that we will get on to exercises 27 and beyond, which is about playing in the 5th position. So it's another sort of new set of ideas, just to kind of get your head round really. So yeah, we will leave it there. If you've got any questions, please do fire away in the comments. I should have mentioned that at the start, actually, I completely forgot, but that's what they're there for. If you watch the video back at a later date rather than live, if you've got any questions, just pop them in the comments underneath the video, and I will do my best to get back to you. If you enjoyed the lesson, please do give it a thumbs up, and maybe tell anybody you know who you think might be interested. That's always a good one. And other than that, we will just be picking things up again next week, which is going to be Thursday the 25th of September. So yeah, can't believe we're nearly in October already actually, but there we go. So very best luck with the practice this week, and I look forward to seeing all of you next Thursday. Okay, take care everyone. Bye bye.